A young monk was struggling with his ego. He was always comparing himself to others and he was never satisfied with himself. One day, the monk went to his teacher, a wise old monk, and asked him how to overcome his ego. The teacher said, "Come, I will show you." The teacher led the monk to a mirror. "This is your ego," the teacher said. "It is always looking at itself and comparing itself to others." The monk looked in the mirror and he saw his reflection. He saw that he was not perfect, and he saw that he was always comparing himself to others. The teacher said, "To overcome your ego, you must stop looking at yourself in the mirror. You must stop comparing yourself to others. You must learn to accept yourself for who you are." The monk thought about what the teacher had said. He realized that he was always looking for approval from others, and he was always trying to be someone he wasn't. The monk decided to stop looking in the mirror. He decided to stop comparing himself to others. He decided to learn to accept himself for who he was. It was not easy at first. The monk often found himself looking in the mirror and comparing himself to others. But he kept practicing, and slowly he began to overcome his ego. One day, the monk was walking in the forest when he saw a beautiful flower. He stopped to admire the flower, and he realized that he was not comparing himself to the flower. He was simply appreciating the flower for its beauty. The monk smiled. He knew that he had finally overcome his ego. He was no longer looking for approval from others. He was no longer trying to be someone he wasn't. He was simply being himself. The moral of the story is that the ego is a false sense of self. It is the voice in our head that tells us that we are not good enough. It is the voice that makes us compare ourselves to others. The only way to overcome the ego is to stop listening to it. We must learn to accept ourselves for who we are. We must learn to appreciate our own unique beauty and worth. When we overcome the ego, we can experience true freedom and happiness. We can live our lives without fear or judgment. We can simply be ourselves.